My brother stole my wedding venue, so I booked his honeymoon destination and refused to leave. Dad announced at Sunday dinner that he was giving Riverside Manor to Kieran for his wedding, the venue I'd reserved for 18 months. But I already booked it, I said. Dad barely looked up. Kieran needs it more. His fiance's family has connections. Kieran, 2 years younger, Dad's golden boy, marrying some senator's daughter named Priscilla. He couldn't meet my eyes. What about my deposit? I asked. Consider it a family contribution, Dad said. This wasn't about wedding venues. This was about Dad's political aspirations. My teacher's salary couldn't compete with senatorial connections. For 3 days, I called every venue within 100 miles. Everything was booked. Theo suggested we postpone, but I'd sent invitations. Mom offered her backyard. We'd invited 150. Then I remembered Priscilla gushing about their honeymoon. 2 weeks in Bali, some exclusive resort that cost more than I made in 6 months. Private villa, infinity pool, personal chef. I called the resort. I'd like to book your presidential villa for 6 weeks, I told them. Ma'am, that villa is already reserved. I'll pay double the rate. Cash up front. 3 hours later, I drained my savings and maxed out credit cards. But Villa Samarapura was mine from the week before their arrival through 2 weeks after departure. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I informed my principal I was taking family leave and boarded a plane to Indonesia. The villa was ridiculous. 3 bedrooms, private beach, butler service. I posted photos on social media just as Kieran and Priscilla were saying their vows at my venue. My phone exploded with messages. Dad, what are you doing? Kieran, you can't be serious. I ignored them and ordered another cocktail from my infinity pool. When Kieran and Priscilla arrived at the resort, they discovered their villa was no longer available. The resort manager was professionally apologetic but firm. I'd booked first, paid more, had an ironclad contract. I watched from my terrace as they stood in the lobby, Priscilla's voice rising to a shriek. The resort offered them a standard room. Nice, but not the paradise they'd planned. Kieran spotted me poolside that evening. This is insane, he said, still in travel clothes while I lounged in a bikini. Funny how things work out, I replied. We can share the villa. It's huge. I laughed. Like you shared the venue? For 6 weeks, we played the world's most expensive game of chicken. They stayed in their basic room while I lived like royalty. Every morning, I waved from my private beach as they walked to the crowded public area. The breaking point came during week 4. Kieran showed up at my door, soaking wet from rain. Please, he said. She's miserable. This was supposed to be perfect. Like my wedding was supposed to be perfect? Dad made the decision, not me. And you just went along with it. I started closing the door. I'll give you the venue back, he said desperately. I paused. Too late. I already got married. His face went white. What? Yesterday. Theo flew out last week. The resort chaplain officiated right on my private beach. Just the 2 of us and the sound of waves. It was true. After weeks of paradise, we realized we didn't need 150 guests and a fancy venue. We needed each other. Kieran stared at me. You're married? Honeymoon's been incredible. Thanks for the inspiration. I handed him a wedding photo. Theo and me barefoot on white sand. Genuinely happy. He left without another word. The next morning, they checked out early. When I returned home, Dad was furious about the embarrassment, but Mom told me she was proud. About time someone stood up to your father's favoritism. Kieran's marriage lasted 8 months. Priscilla couldn't handle not getting her way. The divorce was messier than my venue drama. These days, Theo and I live in a cottage we bought with money we saved. It's small but ours. No family politics, no stolen reservations. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well.